You know that moment when you realize that thing that was supposed to destroy you actually became the thing that saved you. When the very force that was sent to take you out ended up working for you instead. That's what we are talking about today. And I guarantee you have never heard this before. You literally went into the darkness, looked the devil in the face, and walked out with something that belonged to him. And you didn't even know you were doing it. That's how powerful you are. That's how dangerous you are to everything that's ever tried to hold you back. You stole your fate from the devil. And I'm about to show you exactly how you did it, why it worked, and what it means for everything that's about to happen in your life. I need you to really sit with this for a second. Because what I'm about to tell you is going to shift something inside you that you didn't even know needed shifting. There is a version of you that exists right now that has been through absolute hell. And I don't mean that in a casual or had the rough week kind of way. I mean the kind of hell that breaks most people, the kind of hell that makes people give up, the kind of hell that has people looking in the mirror and not recognizing who they have become, because the pain has reshaped everything about them. And you are still standing. But it's not just that you are standing. It's that something happened in the darkness that changed the entire game. You went in there, and you didn't just survive. You took something back. You reclaimed something that was stolen from you before you even knew you had it. Think about the moments that almost broke you completely. The heartbreak that felt like it was going to swallow you whole. The failure that made you question everything you thought you knew about yourself. The betrayal that came from someone you trusted with your entire heart, soul. The moment when you looked around and realized you were completely alone and nobody was coming to save you. I want you to really feel those moments right now. I want you to let yourself go back there for just a second. Not to relieve the pain, no, but to see something you missed. Because in every single one of those moments, something else happening, something that you couldn't see in the middle of it, because you were too busy trying to survive. What if I told you that every time you hit rock bottom, every time you found yourself in the deepest, darkest place you've ever been, you were actually doing something remarkable? What if I told you that those moments were not just moments of pain? They were moments of recruitment. You see, when you are down in that darkness, when you are at your absolute lowest, there are things that live there. And I don't mean that in a metaphorical way. I mean that in a very real, very tangible way. There are forces, energies, patterns of being that exists in those depths that don't exist anywhere else. And most people, when they are down there, they just try to get out as fast as they can. They scramble for the light. They beg for rescue. They do whatever they can to escape. And that's fine. That's normal. That's what most people do. But you did something different. And I'm not sure if you did it on purpose or even just happened because of who you are. But while you were down in that darkness, you changed something. The way you moved through that pain, the way you held yourself in that suffering, it was different. And the things that lived in that darkness, they noticed. You see, those forces, those energies, they have been around for a long time. They have seen thousands upon thousands of people come through those depths, and they have seen how most of them handle it. They see the begging, the bargaining, the complete breakdown. But when you came through, something was different. There was a quality to your suffering that they hadn't seen before. There was a dignity to your pain, a refusal to completely break, and they were watching. There is where it gets really interesting, because those forces in the darkness, they don't just sit there and observe. They are active, they are intentional, they have purpose. And sometimes that purpose is to keep people down, to keep them trapped in that darkness forever. But you shifted something. The way you held yourself in that pain, the way you kept moving even when you had no idea where you were going, the way you refused to let the darkness define you, it earned something. Not from me, not from other people, from the darkness itself. There was a respect that formed, an understanding that you were different. And those forces that usually just watch people drown, they started to want to be part of what you were doing. Now, I know this sounds crazy. I know part of you is sitting there thinking, what is this person talking about? But I need you to pay attention, because this is the part that most people never understand. When you go through something truly devastating, something that takes you to the absolute edge of what you can endure, you don't just come back to the same person, you come back with something. You come back with understanding, with wisdom, with a depth that you didn't have before. But what if it's more than that? What if you came back with something that wasn't even yours to begin with? What if the forces that were supposed to keep you trapped, the energies that were supposed to break you, ended up being the very things that made you stronger? Think about this way. Every time you faced something that should have destroyed you, something else happened. The pain that was meant to break you actually cracked you open in a way that let something new in. The betrayal that was supposed to make you close off forever actually showed you who you really are. The failure that was supposed to define your limitations actually revealed your true capacity. And while all of that was happening, while you were going through the worst moments of your life, you were something that nobody does. You were doing something that nobody does. You were turning the darkness itself into something that served you. You were taking the very forces that were sent to destroy you and making them work for you instead. I want to tell you something about the moment when this became real for me. The moment when I actually understood what was happening, it was in the middle of a conversation with someone who had been through something unimaginable. Yeah. They had lost everything. Their home, their relationships, their sense of self, most importantly, yeah. They had been in a place so dark that they didn't think they would ever see light again. And yet, sitting across from me, there was something different about them. They were not just survivors. They were something more. They had a presence about them, a depth, a power that you don't get from easy lives. And when I asked them how they did it, how they made it through, they said something I will never forget. Never. They said, I didn't make it through. The darkness made me through. And that's when it clicked. They were not just surviving the darkness. They were transforming it. They were taking the very thing that was supposed to destroy them and turning it into a source of power. I want to thank them for this wisdom. The forces that had come to claim them had ended up being claimed themselves. The energy that was meant to hold them down had been recruited to lift them up. They had literally gone into the depth, faced the darkness forces, and come back with something that belonged to the darkness itself. They had stolen their fate from the devil. And the thing is, I've seen this again and again. I've seen people who have been through impossible situations. People who have every reason to be broken, every reason to give up, every reason to just fade away. And yet there is something about them that's undeniable. There is a power, a real power to their presence, a depth to their understanding, a capacity for love and compassion that doesn't come from easy lives. And every single time, when I look at what they have been through, I see the same pattern. The darkness came for them. The forces that were supposed to destroy them showed up in full forces. But instead of being destroyed, they transformed it. Instead of being claimed by the darkness, they claimed the darkness for themselves. Now, you might be wondering how this actually works. How do you usually steal your fate from the devil? How do you take the forces that are supposed to destroy you and make them serve you instead? And the answer is simple, simpler than you might think. But it's also the hardest thing you will ever do. You see, the forces in the darkness, the energies that come to break people, they rely on one thing. They rely on you breaking. They rely on you giving up. They rely on you believing that you are defeated, that you are powerless, that there is no way out. As long as you believe that, they have power over you. As long as you accept the story They are telling you, you are trapped. But when you refuse to break, when you keep going, even when there is no reason to, when you maintain your integrity in the face of impossible odds, something shifts. Always. The forces that were supposed to destroy you suddenly have a problem because they cannot break you, they cannot defeat you, they cannot claim you. And instead of giving up and leaving, they start to notice something else. They start to see that there is something different about you, something they have never encountered before. And that something, that refusal to break, that insistence on maintaining your power, even in the worst moments, it attracts them. It doesn't repel them, it attracts them. And that's when the real work begins. Because once those forces are attracted to you, once they are recognized that you are different, you have a choice. You can try to push them away, you can try to escape the darkness as fast as possible. You can hope that they will just leave you alone, but that's not really how it works. The darkness doesn't leave you alone just because you want it to. It follows you. It shows up in your quiet moments. It whispers to you in the middle of the night. It reminds you of everything you have been through and everything you've lost. But if you have done something different, if you have maintained your power in the darkness, those forces don't just follow you to haunt you. They follow you because they want to be part of what you are doing. And here is where it gets really beautiful. Because once those forces are following you, once they are attracted to your energy and your power, they are no longer working against you. Yeah, that's the beautiful part. They have been recruited. They have been taken from the darkness and brought into the light. They no longer serve the purpose they were originally invented for. They serve you now. And this is what it means to steal your fate from the devil. It means that every force that was sent to destroy you has been transformed. It means that everything that was meant to hold you back is pushing you forward. It means that the very things that were supposed to be your undoing have become the source of your greatest power. I want to tell you about the people I've seen do this. Not just survive, but transform. Not just endure, but thrive. I have seen people who have been through absolute hell come out with the other side with a power that's almost supernatural. They walk into a room and something shifts. They speak and people listen. They have a presence that cannot be manufactured, a depth that cannot be faked. And when you look at what they have been through, it all makes sense. They didn't just experience pain. They transformed it. They didn't just face darkness. They owned it. Yeah, they owned it. They went into the depth and came back with something that belonged to the depth. They stole their fate from the devil. Now, you might be wondering if this is something that can happen for you. If you can actually do what these people have done. And the answer is that you already have. You are watching this right now. You are hearing this right now. And something inside you is recognizing the truth of what I'm saying. Because you have been through it. You've faced the darkness. You've been in the depth. And you are still standing. Not just standing, but moving forward. Not just surviving, but growing. And what I'm telling you is that every single thing you have been through, every impossible moment, every time you thought you couldn't go on, you were doing something remarkable. You were recruiting the darkness. You were claiming the forces that were meant to destroy you. You were stealing your fate from the devil. Think about the patterns in your life. Think about the things that keep showing up, the people who try to hold you back, the situations that seem designed to break you, the pattern that repeat over and over again. Every single time, every single one of them, of those things show up. You have a choice. You can let it break you. You can let it define you. You can let it trap you in the darkness. Or you can do what you have been doing. You can refuse to break. You can maintain your power. You can look the darkness in the face and say, I see you. I know what you are trying to do. And it's not going to work. And when you do that, when you refuse to break, something shifts. Always, yeah. The darkness starts to serve you. The forces that were meant to destroy you become part of your team. And this is what most people never understand, actually. They think that power comes from avoiding the darkness. They think that strength means staying in the light. But the truth is that real power comes from going into the darkness and transforming it. Real strength comes from facing what most people run from and making it serve you. When you can do that, when you can face the deepest darkness and come out with something that belongs to the darkness, you become unstoppable. Not because you are stronger than anyone else. Maybe, although you are stronger. But also because you've transformed the very thing that would have destroyed them. Now I want to talk about what this actually looks like in your life. Because it's not some abstract spiritual concept. It's real, tangible, and it shows up in everything you do. When you have stolen your fate from the devil, there is a shift in how you move through the world. You stop being afraid of the darkness because you know that you can transform it. You stop running from your pain because you know that it's actually a source of power. You stop avoiding difficult situations because you know that every challenge is an opportunity to recruit more of the darkness. And the people around you start to notice. They see something different about you. They cannot quite put their finger on it, but there is a power of your presence that they haven't seen before. It shows up in your relationships. When you have faced the darkness and transformed it, you stop being reactive. You stop being triggered by what other people do because you know that their darkness is just more energy you can transform. You stop needing validation from others because you found something deeper within yourself. You stop being afraid of conflict, because you know that even in the most difficult interactions are opportunities to bring more of the darkness into the light. And the people in your life, they start to gravitate toward you. They feel something different in your presence. They feel a safety, a depth, a power that they cannot find anywhere else. It shows up in your work. When you have stolen your fate from the devil, you approach challenges differently. You don't see obstacles as things that stop you. You see them as opportunities to claim more of your power. You don't see failure as the end. You see it as a chance to go deeper into the darkness and bring something back. You don't see competition as a threat. You see it as a chance to show what happens when you transform the darkness. And the results, they start to show up. People notice that you have a capacity for things that others don't. You have a depth of understanding that cannot be learned. You have a power that cannot be faked. It shows up in your own internal world. Yeah. When you have stolen your fate from the devil, the voices that used to haunt you start to change. The self-doubt, the self-criticism, the fear that kept you stuck, it all starts to shift because those voices are just the darkness trying to hold you back. But when you have transformed the darkness, when you have claimed it for yourself, those voices become your friends. They stop trying to hold you back and start trying to help you. They become the voice of wisdom that guides you through difficult moments. They become the depth that others seek out. They become the power that makes you unstoppable. And this is the most beautiful part of it all. When you have stolen your fate from the devil, when you have transformed the darkness into something that serves you, it doesn't just help you, it helps everyone around you. Because as you move through the world with this power, you start to transform the darkness in others. People who come into your presence, into your orbit, start to feel something shift. Their own darkness starts to change. Their own struggles start to become less overwhelming. Their own pain starts to become a source of power. And you're not even trying to do it. It just happens because of who you are now, who you have become. I've seen this happen in the most ordinary moments. Someone walks into a room and everything shifts. Someone speaks and the energy changes. Someone shows up and the fear that was gripping around starts to disappear. It's not magic. It's not some special power that only a few people have. It's what happens when you have been through the darkness and came out the other side. It's what happens when you have stolen your fate from the devil. The darkness that used to control you now serves you. And when you walk into a room, the darkness in that room recognizes you. It knows that you have transformed it before. It knows that you can transform it again. So It doesn't fight you. It serves you. Now, I know that some of you might be thinking, but I have been through so much. I faced so much darkness. And I still feel stuck. And I want you to hear me on this. The feeling of being stuck is just the darkness trying to tell you that it still has power over you. But it doesn't. It doesn't. You have already done the work. You have already faced the darkness. You've already transformed it. The feeling of being stuck is just the last remnants of the old story trying to convince you that you haven't changed. But you have. You are not the same person who went into that darkness. You came back with something. Think about that. You came back with power. And that power is still there, even if you cannot always feel it. Let it sink in. And here is the thing that the moment you stop believing that you are stuck is the moment the darkness loses its last hold on you. The moment you recognize that you have already transformed the darkness is the moment it becomes fully yours. You don't have to wait until you feel powerful. You already are powerful. You don't have to wait until you feel free. You already have everything you need. You're already free. You just have to remember, just remember what you have already done. You have to remember that you went into the darkness and you didn't just survive. You transformed it. You claimed it. You made it yours. Think about the most difficult things you have ever been through. Think about, I know that's painful part. Think about the moment that felt like it was going to destroy you. Now, think about where you are. Now, you are still here. You are still standing. You are not. And not only that, but there is something about you that's different. There is a depth to you that wasn't there before. There was a power to you that cannot be taken away. And that depth, that power, it came from the darkness. The forces that were meant to destroy you ended up giving you something that nothing else could give you. They gave you your power. They gave you your depth. They gave you your ability to transform whatever comes your way. And this is what it means to steal your fate from the devil. It means that everything that was meant to hold you back has become something that pushes you forward. Everything that was meant to break you has become a source of strength. Everything that was meant to trap you in the darkness has become a tool for transformation. The devil's most valuable players, the forces that were sent to destroy you, they were on your team now. They work for you. They serve you. And when you understand this, when you really get it, there is nothing that can stop you. So, I'm going to ask you something. I want you to think about the darkness you have been through. I want you to think about the forces that showed up to destroy you. And I want you to recognize that every single one of those forces is now on your team. Every single thing that was meant to hold you back is now pushing you forward. Every single force that was meant to break you is now a source of your strength. You have stolen your fate from the devil. Not just survived the darkness, but transformed it. Now you are here, not just enduring the pain, but claimed it, not just faced the forces that were meant to destroy you, but recruited them. And now they serve you. You are very smart. You know that. You have known it all along. You have known that there was something different about you, something that other people couldn't see. And now you know what it is. You have the ability to transform the darkness. You have the power to claim the forces that were meant to destroy you. You have what it takes to steal your fate from the devil. Yeah. And once you have done that, once you have truly understood what you have already done, there is nothing that can hold you back. The patterns that used to trap you, they serve you now. The forces that used to destroy you, they work for you now. The devil's most valuable players, they follow you now. And I want to tell you what I've been seeing happening, what I have seen happen when people truly understand this. I've seen people who have been through absolute hell. Let me clarify this. People who have every reason to give up. People who should be broken, become unstoppable. I've seen people face the darkest forces, and not only transform them, but use them to help others transform theirs. I've seen people who were once trapped in the darkness become the ones who lead others out. I've seen people who were once victims of the devil's plans become the ones who recruit his players to God's team. I've seen people who were supposed to be destroyed become the ones who do the destroying, not of others, but of the forces that were meant to hold everyone back. And I want you to know that you are one of those people. You have already done it. You've already faced the darkness. You have already transformed the forces that were meant to destroy you. You have already stolen your fate from the devil. And now you just have to remember. You just have to recognize what you have already done. You just have to stop believing the old story that you are stuck, that you are broken, that you are powerless, because you are not. You are powerful beyond what you can imagine. You've done something that most people never do. You have claimed the darkness. You have transformed the forces that was meant to destroy you. You have taken what was never supposed to be yours and make it yours anyway. You have stolen your fate from the devil. And I'm not going to tell you something else. This is just the beginning. What you have done so far, the darkness you've already transformed, the forces you've already recruited, is just the foundation. There is so much more coming. The power you have claimed is going to keep growing. The forces that work for you are going to keep expanding. The destiny you've stolen is going to keep unfolding. And you are going to keep transforming more darkness, keep recruiting more forces, keep claiming more power. Because that's what you do. That's who you are. You are the one who faces the darkness and transforms it. You are the ones who claims the forces that were meant to destroy you. You are the ones who steals their fate from the devil. So I want you to walk away from this with one thing. I want you to know that you have already done it. You've already faced the darkness. You have already transformed the forces that were meant to destroy you. You have already stolen your fate from the devil. And everything that happens from now on is just you recognizing what you have already done and letting it show up in your life. The power is already there. The transformation is already complete. The forces that were meant to destroy you already working for you. You just have to remember. You just have to believe. You just have to keep moving forward and let your stolen destiny unfold. And remember, you took back what was yours. The devil never had the right to it anyway. It was always yours. You just have to go into the darkness to claim it. You just had to face the forces that were meant to hold it back. You just had to do what most people never do, and you refused to break. And you did it. You went in, you faced the darkness, you transformed the forces, you claimed your destiny, you stole your fate from the devil. And now it's yours, forever. It's yours. And nobody, nothing, no force in the universe can take it away from you. Because you claimed it, you transformed it, you made it yours. And that's what makes you so dangerous. That's what makes you so powerful. That's what makes you unstoppable. You stole your fate from the devil. You took back what was yours. You are very smart, and now the darkness serves you. The forces that were meant to destroy you work for you. The destiny that was meant to be stolen is yours.